Okay, guys, look, I mean, it's not been great, and I don't know how to fix it. So if any of you have any ideas, I'm all ears. Let me hear it. A team meeting. Fill it, mate. You're a genius. What do you think this is?
Jarune, za tebe mi dijete diše, tu je važno samo jedno, nogomet i ništa više. Jarune.
Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Jarun on The Impossible Dream. It is Season 5, Episode 6. Today we have Sporting Lisbon at home in the Europa League, and then it's Dinamo in the Cup. And we're going to be taking it seriously because, well, we need any chance to get into Europe we can, basically. It's not gone particularly well. Now, there are some games to catch you up on. Before we face Dinamo in the Cup, we did have to play them in the league after last episode where we lost the game we should have won. On paper anyway, and then we drew a game we should have lost. So, let's see how we did against Dinamo in the league. We fell behind after 15 minutes. And it was 2-0 at half-time. Palumbo pulled one back early in the second half. And then got us level. But Dinamo went ahead again late on. Only for Bosanjak to make it 3-3 deep into stoppage time. So, first things first, this was a cracking game of football. It was brilliant, it really was. I was on the edge of my seat. Yeah, I mean, we came back, we fell behind, we got a 97th minute equaliser. It was brilliant, but yeah, there was one or two things here that destabilised the side. One is Marseille wants Stevic to play as a regular centre-back, not a wide centre-back. I tried to contest it a little bit, but they wanted him to play as a centre-back, which is fine, except I kind of built the squad with him to play as a wide centre-back. So he went into the middle, which upset Damjanic. We tried to play him out wide. You can see it just didn't work. So it just kind of messed up the team a little bit. We sorted it out eventually. Bracalo had a nightmare against his former club. Pranjic was poor again. Kakavenga didn't have a great game. Ultimately, though, in the end, we got a point. Even though it is at home, it's better than losing to them, isn't it? So we had an international break after this one, and then we faced Hajduk Split. We took a second-half lead when the ball fell from Matanovic in front of goal. But Hajduk were quickly level. So our finishing in this one was very poor. 11 shots, 1 on target, which obviously went into the back of the net. I don't really understand this season why our finishing and our shooting is so poor. I've tried any number of things and it just doesn't seem to be working out for us. So that is massively frustrating. But away from home against Hajduk Split, a 1-1 draw. Again, it's not the worst, is it? It's not the worst. Next up, we had the cup tie, the first round of the cup against Orient, who we, of course, played in the second tier. They are still there. We obviously are not. Let's see how we did against second-tier opposition there. Kakavenga gave us an early lead in style. And an own goal made it 2-0 at half-time. Persa picked out Pranjic for our third. Before Academy Graduate College banged in a fourth. But Orient pulled one back. So we were too good for them, even with a weekend side put out. We did give quite a few academy players some game time. Obviously, we saw Kolik get the goal. Grafinha, we gave him a game. You may have noticed he took the free kick. Kind of stole an assist on that one, to be honest. And Makovic was the other one. We've offered him a big boy contract, but I don't know that he's going to make it. Kolik, though, might. And this is him here. You can see 3.5 star potential. There's a little bit to like. He's training on well. Finishing just needs to be improved a little bit, but if he can keep scoring goals like that, then fantastic. He's 17, which means he can play in everything, all the competitions, and I think we might see a little bit more of him. Maybe not quite one for the long term, but certainly for the short term, medium term, he's going to be good. Good pace and acceleration too, so a lot to like there. Final game to catch you up on was back in the league against newly promoted Bordeaux, and you will keep an eye out for two of our former, well actually they're still current players, they're just on loan, Tregranic and Burdic is there as well. Brigic? Dion Brigic, I think it is. Bekanic played in John to give us a lead at half-time. And Havoy turned in a loose ball to get our second. So we dominated this game. We really, really did. Again, you may have noticed some academy players that got on the field there. The main one at the end, I mean, John scored a goal, which is unusual. But at the end, you may have seen the guy that took the shot that was turned in by Havoy was this guy. I can't really say the name, but another thank you. Another good young striker. The issue here perhaps is the fickle personality, but we'll keep him happy. It should be fine. And again, there's a little bit to like about him. He's got decent finishing. He's only 16, so not available for everything, but is deemed good enough quality to be able to play in the league. So yeah, these youngsters are just starting to come through, and the actually really good ones are still only 15. So when they turn 16, then we'll have some youngsters coming through, that's for sure. But that is all of that. Let's have a look at the league. And despite dropping points to both of the top teams there, we are still top. So a point clear of Dinamo. It is very much a 3-horse race. There's a point further back is Hajduk and Rijeka. So it's a 4-horse race, all within 2 points of each other. And we just need to, just sort of keep it going. The fact that we're there and haven't really looked convincing yet is possibly a very good sign, but it's certainly a little bit frustrating as well. But European football is what we're worried about right now. It is Sporting. We are hosting them. We are apparently expecting a bus park again. This is the team that we are sending out. Nasevic goes in goal. Dashka, Zebic, and Mesic are going to be the back three. You'll notice changes here. I'm trying to get something that works for us. Pembele and Rovers will be the wide players. Dunbanjak plays, obviously. Bosanjak's got himself sent off last time, so he's suspended. Palumbo and Skoko will be the midfield duo, with Filet and Matanovic going up top. There's a couple of youngsters on the bench. Ormarkic is there. I think it's the first time he's just turned 17, so he can play in this competition. Kolik, as we've just seen, and a couple of other youngsters there. The bench is not the strongest, but there's a lot of potential there. Alright, so we can see the team sheets here. Do we recognise anybody? Trincao, he was at Barcelona, was he not? Marcus Edwards has been... He came back to England, did he not? In real life? I'm trying to remember now. I know I signed him at somewhere. But yeah, maybe he just came on loan, because I think he was... Is he a Sporting Lisbon junior? I can't remember now. But anyway, we can see the team sheets there. I did look up our stadium. It is a third-tier side. It's 15,000-seat stadium. All right, let's take full advantage of home advantage. And yeah, I mean, a draw here is probably a decent result, but we kind of do need to win home games, don't we, if we are going to get through. So yeah, we'll see. Again, I'm recording this before the last episode has gone out, so I don't know what your response has been to the last episode. Yeah, I mean, the whole season has just been a bit disappointing. I mean, the league, to me, it's like sitting here playing it just feels disappointing. But you know, it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. You know, when you see sort of the goals and the catch up that I do, it probably doesn't look too bad to you guys, but we just don't seem to be clicking at all, even in the league, and even though we are getting results. So, like I say, there's an element of that is good, because that means that we're doing okay. But yeah, it's obviously concerning. But I would be disappointed if we didn't get through the first phase of the Europa League. I think we can kind of negate some of the disappointment of not being in the Champions League and not getting that money if we can have a good coefficient point season. But we're not really showing much signs of doing that yet. I mean, and we've already dropped what should have been realistically a win against the Czech side. So, and we're certainly not seeing many highlights here, are we? I'm wondering, looking at this, if we go and stick somebody forward. I have against 4-4-2s now. I've started moving the advanced playmaker into a number 10 role. I mean, there's just nothing happening here. So let's go and do that. They're a fairly defensively set up side, aren't they? So we'll go and put a bit of pressure on them, and we'll get Philip looking a little bit further forward. Hopefully our ambition won't be rewarded by conceding a goal. It has been rewarded by a highlight, though. Here we go with Palumbo. Gets it forward for Matanovic. Back to Palumbo. He's got a little bit of space, but a heavy touch. He keeps possession, though. Good ball for Filet. Can Filet pick out a teammate now? Pembele to Palumbo. It's hit the crossbar. Oh, so unlucky. And it is still scoreless. But at least that shows a little bit there that, you know, we do have the ability to break them down. It's been a terrible half of football, hasn't it? 4 shots in 45 minutes. Those poor fans. At least we can sort of skip through it. All right, so what do we say? I think just relax, enjoy yourselves. Was that a bit of a tense performance, perhaps? We've got faith in... I do have faith in them. It's hard to keep the faith sometimes, but I do have faith in them. Now, one thing we could do, if this is the way we're going to play, is we could bring Purser on for Dunvan Jack, because he's a little bit better. He's just not as good a defensive player, but if he's playing further forward, then it probably doesn't matter too much. And then we can change things around if we need to go defensive at some point. Can we try a demand more, I wonder? And Philip's injured. Perfect. Excellent work. Alright, we'll bring John on. We'll move him up there. We'll get Matanovic dropping back. And hopefully that Philip injury is not too serious. What a horrible game. Okay, well, let's try maybe lowering down the tempo. And I wonder if we try and exploit the middle, look for the overlap. I mean, they've just come and parked the bus. That's the issue, isn't it? So maybe what we need to actually do is exploit the flanks, try and negate their bus park, and just shoot when we get the opportunity to shoot. What we really need is just like a target man up there or something, but we don't really have that sort of player. Alright, you know what we could do, because this is just going absolutely nowhere, is I don't want to take Skoko off necessarily. We could take... Matanovic hasn't covered himself in glory. Danjamic has a good jumping reach. He's almost 2 meters tall. So let's just get him up there. If they want to play this game, then let's play this game. Oh, I've got to edit that out now. Let's get crosses in. Let's go direct. Let's just aim it at the target man. And maybe be more distant. We don't need to... We don't need to be creative here, guys. We're just trying to just lump it up to them. There's a way to distribute to target man. Oh, we want to kind of cross to target man. Hang on, let me find that. It's in here, I think, isn't it? Edit, cross target. I know there's a way to do this. There it is. Crosses aimed at target forward for both of them. And we probably just want to sort of float them in too, don't we? And just try and get people around Danjamic. As what's going to happen here? If they score, oh god, I'm going to be so annoyed. This sort of football shouldn't be rewarded. And here it is. It's going to come, isn't it? You can sense it a mile away. That's cleared away by Zebic. Skoko is there. Can he win it back? He can't. Cross comes in. Oh, we were very passive attacking it. And it is eventually blocked by Pimbele behind for a corner. Alright, so Pulis ball activated. Let's see if it does us any good. So far, not so good. Here we go. Damjanic to Skoko. Damjanic again. We really don't want him playing football. We want him up there just to lump something. Oh, here we go. Pembele's got a chance now to whip a cross in. Where's Damjanic? Is he in there? It's cleared away. It's fallen for Purser, who puts one in, and it's just over the top. Oh, that was a little bit unlucky. We needed a little bit more composure on that occasion, didn't we? Maybe that was one not to shoot on sight. It is a point. I mean, that game has been horrible. I don't... yeah, I don't know what else we could have done. I mean, we didn't necessarily play badly. They just didn't choke up to attack, did they? So I guess a point is okay. 2 points from 3 games. You would have expected more from us, I think, but that's where we are. So, yeah. Now, the Philip injury. 2 to 3 months. What have we got to do to get some luck? That's another injured striker as well. Tolik is on his way back, but he's not registered in Europe. It's just not our year, is it? It's just not our year. All right, let's come back and face Dinamo in the Cup. All right, welcome back. We have got the toughest cup tie I think you could get for the second round as well. We've got both our affiliates in there. The third tier side is facing Hajduk, and the second, the Premier League side or whatever it is, the top flight side is facing Vukovar, which will be a tough one for them. I'm assuming they're doing okay in their league. So that's what we've got coming up here, but there was one game to catch you up on in the meantime. That was in the league against Varazdan. We rotated heavily for this one. We basically kept the European side fresh for this Dinamo tie, so everybody else was available for the cup game. Let's see how we did. A few debutants as well. We took the lead early on when Persa played in Pranjic. And it was 2-0 when Tinovoy's cross was turned in by Kronic. Varazdan pulled one back before Bakanic made it 3-1 at half-time. Persa added a fourth, and Kronjic's solo effort made it 5-1 before Varazdan got a second. So a really, really good performance, this one from us. Maybe not the greatest at the back, but we gave a debut to Ormarkic. Kuranic, I think it was his first, it was definitely, I think, his first start anyway, so he got a double. Ormarkic did fine. Mezak got a game at the back, a little bit there at the end, as well as Grafinha and Lovric and Rakic, who had just turned 16 and is the youngest player ever at 16 in 5 days. Now, given that you have to be 16 to play, that record may stand for a little while. So, yeah, so that's all excellent. These are all promising players that we're bringing off the bench, and it was the perfect opportunity when the game was already won. So, excellent news if we look at the league table. And it's still 2 points between the top four, and we've got Rijeka in the league coming up after Dinamo in the cup here. So that's going to be a big game as well. But let's face Dinamo in the cup here. And we are expecting a 4-4-2 out of them. And this is the team that we are sending out now. I'm just going to pause here for a second, the recording. All right, so this is the team that we're sending up, and this is the formation that I now call the anti-4-4-2, which we sort of switched to midway through the Dinamo Zagreb game last time. So Nesevic goes in goal, Dashka, Zebic, and Mesic are the back three. Pembele and Rovers will go down the wings. Bozanjak with Palumbo. Skoko is a number 10 with John and Matenovic, the two up front. Now, John has a heavy match load for some reason. We do have quite a few players with heavy match loads. So this is more or less our strongest team that is available to us. The likes of Kakovenga are injured. There's quite a few that are not actually eligible to play either. So, yeah, let's see what we can do here. All right, so we can see the team sheets here. It looks as though they are putting out a fairly strong side, although it's not. I don't know if they've got injuries. There are a few different names there, so maybe that's not their strongest. Let's see. There's no pressure on us here. Let's try going with that. And yeah, maybe they're not taking the cup super seriously. It is a way into Europe though. And whilst it is a very close top four, what we don't want is, for example, we come fourth, some other team outside of that wins the cup, and then we're not in Europe at all. So for that reason, I want to take the cup seriously until it looks as though we're going to get through. Which is not ideal. It would have been a good week to sort of rest a lot of players, especially with the injuries. Now, Kakovenga is back relatively soon, but we know, we've just seen Philip is out fairly long term. So the only other blessing is that it's almost a perfect start. It's hit the crossbar. Rovis, can he get a cross in? A second chance. Skoko, it's headed away. Bozanjak picks it up. And still, we have a chance here. Pembele's cross is deflected behind for a corner. Tolik is back within, I think he's within a week he's going to be back. Now, the issue with Tolik, of course, is... Oh, and we have got the perfect start, and it is Timothy Pembele. His first for the club, and what a start it is. Absolutely ripping them to shreds inside a minute. And we've already hit the crossbar once, and then Pembele rises like a French salmon and buries that header. Magnificent stuff. So, yeah, so that's all making things a little bit tricky, but Tolik being back is obviously going to be a bonus, and I'm sort of... Oh, Matanovic almost adds a second inside 4 minutes. Because he's not registered in Europe, it allows me to sort of have to play him in the league, which means other people will be rested as well. So, and we know Tolik can, in theory, play as a striker, or certainly a number 10 if we play him off of maybe another striker. So we can experiment around with that. A little bit of bruised ankle for Messick is not ideal, and it is a shorter bench in this one as well. Only the 9 subs rather than the 12. So we've just got the 2 centre-backs on the bench. The problem, perhaps, is that they're both left-footed centre-backs, which in hindsight I shouldn't have done. I should have put Hartman on the bench, but yeah, I didn't do that, so there's no point crying about it now. We'll keep an eye on Messick's performance. It is just a bruise, so it's not going to get any worse, and he doesn't seem to be playing too badly. This seems to be going quite slowly, doesn't it? Speech between highlights. There we go, that's a little bit better. Every now and again, I find that the game will sort of like reset itself. It did it actually during the Variston game, where it went to full match highlights, like randomly. And I'm not quite sure why it did that, but obviously it's almost like it's reset itself in terms of those settings, which is a little bit strange. It doesn't do it very often though. It's just enough to be annoying and not actually make you not enough to sort of look into why it happened and is there a way to fix it. It's just yeah, it just seems to happen from time to time. Maybe like once a season kind of thing. John to Rovis. Rovis floats in the cross. I wonder if we still got floated crosses on. It shouldn't be. Yeah, no, it's whipped crosses. And let's see where this highlight goes from here. But yeah, I think a real positive coming out of that Variston game as well is the academy kids are now starting to come through. Ormarkic has just turned 17, so he's able to play in all competitions, as I think I said before. And he did okay. He had an effort. He sort of just couldn't quite bend it back inside the post to score. He did a decent job in that one, and he's obviously only going to get better as well. So it's good that these players are starting to come through. The only other player we'd really seen before this season is Islamovic, and he's again himself starting to look a decent prospect. What I don't think we have seen yet is any of the guys that are going to be really good players for us, not just in the league but in Europe as well. They are just starting to come through. Whereas I think the likes of Ormarkic, they're going to be good players in the league for us, but I don't think they'll be the sort of players that we'll rely on in Europe. Not that they couldn't play there, but they're not going to be sort of first choice, I wouldn't have thought. Whereas some of the others coming through could quite easily go on and do that. We've got Palumbo over a free kick. It's off the crossbar again, and it is only 1-0, but we've been inches away twice. Skoko to Dashka. And here we go with Matanovic. Rovis in a little bit of space. Rovis trying to take on his man. Can he get across in? He can, but it's cleared by the defence. 2 reasons why I'm playing Dashka at centre-back. You may have noticed that we've sort of moved in there. 1, I just don't fully trust Bacanic there anymore in the bigger games. And 2, we're trying to sell him. There's potentially for close to 7 million. What I don't want... Oh, it's a good pass, and it's a very good save. Let's give it some focus, and maybe we just go back to balanced. Yeah, so what I don't want to do is just sort of have him rotting away and that transfer value going down. He is more than good enough to play centre-back, and this way we'll try and keep the interest coming in for him. He is 26, so he's probably at the point now where this is going to be his max value. And it may even be a case of in January we start to actively shop him around, because I think we'll need to sell him now to make sure we have the money to sign Zabic, the 2.3 million. Obviously, I wasn't expecting to not make the Champions League. Messick now looks like that injury's stepped up a notch, so we will bring on Bacanic for him. And can we go and get them on the break? It's John. Kelvin John. He's absolutely useless as Kelvin John. And that felt like a very good opportunity to wrap up this cup tie. Go missing. We'll keep praising them, though. Keep trying to keep the confidence up. And, I mean, they've had more shots on target. But none of that really matters. It's how many end up in the back of the net. And we're winning that count right now. So they've gone to a more aggressive 4-4-2. Do we try and close this thing down a little bit? It's probably getting towards that point, isn't it? And here we go. Pembele, can't quite get a decisive foot in. And there's a little bit of space there that I don't like having. And they have got level in the 87th minute. They scored, I think it was the 85th or 86th minute in the league. And, well, they've got another late one against us here. The Savage didn't really have much chance. Would have been sort of screened by Dashka and Rovis as well, I would have thought. And offside, it's one of those. If that gets given as offside, I'd be annoyed as the Dinamo manager. All right, let's try demand more. They've gone back into their shells a little bit. Is there going to be a late winner here? Palumbo over a free kick. Palumbo hits the post again. You couldn't make it up. 3 times we've hit the woodwork. And are we going into extra time here? Ideally, we don't really want it, and I'm sure they don't either. But we do need to kind of keep going here, don't we? There's no pressure on us now. Let's just go with that. Go out there and prove that you've got what it takes. John, do we bring Pranjic on for him, I wonder? We'll give it a little bit. I mean, Matanovic isn't hardly covering himself in glory. So let's play him as a deep-lying forward and try and get a bit of a mix in there. Let's encourage them. And do we need to bring some fresh legs on here, I wonder? Pranjic for Matanovic. Let's do that. Skoko's looking quite tired, so let's get on Purser for him. Cross comes in from the corner. Bosanjak will pick it up. Pembele is absolutely rooted as well. So we might... If I've got Tinavoy on the bench, I do, so we'll bring him on as well. Dashka, decent board. John, back for Rovis. Floats it in. There's no one there. And here come Dinamo the other way, but we should pick that up. Zebic knocks it down for Bosanjak. Wide for Pembele. Come on, mate. You're going to have a rest. Can you get one moment of quality in the box? Oh, how has that stayed out? It's still there for us. Bosanjak has it. Back to Bekanic. Bekanic to Palumbo. Bekanic to Pembele. He's in the area again. Penalty! It's not. It was a clean tackle. But you don't blame me for yelling, surely. And we'll keep those changes. It is half time in extra time. And why can't I do anything right now? Why can't I do anything right now? Game, why are you doing this to me? Confirm subs. Did we not make those subs? Palumbo is looking pretty tired here as well. Not quite sure what's going on here, so let's just take stock. So we've made some subs. I think Palumbo... Let's have a look at penalty takers here. Palumbo is one of our better penalty takers. We've taken a lot of our better penalty takers off, to be honest. So... It's frustrating, isn't it? It's one of these. Do we take off? Do we try and win it and say take off Palumbo for Islamovic? Or do we want to try and have Palumbo, no matter how tired he is, try to hobble up and take a penalty? Let's try and demand more. Is there going to be a late winner for somebody in this one? It doesn't look like it. There is. It looks like it's going to be penalties. Oh... Alright. Go out there, cause a few... just stay calm, back yourselves. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, boys. Come on. Kelvin John. Can he show us he does actually know how to play football? A little bit. Alright, well done, mate. 1 up. And of course, if you do go first and score the first penalty, then the pressure is just on them, isn't it? Come on, the Savage. Against his former team as well. Just sucked in the going the wrong way there, wasn't he? In comes Palumbo. He's exhausted. We kept him on just to take a penalty. Can he score it? Oh, he can't. And it is advantage to them now, as they have a player hobbling up. Can the Savage draw the save? No. And suddenly, all the pressure is on us. It's Purser. Can he put away? If he doesn't score, we are in some serious trouble here. Oh, you're kidding me. If we put out a really strong side here, lose, and then we've got to go and face Rijeka in the league next with not our strongest side, this could be a disastrous couple of games. So it's next miss. If we miss, they win. If they score, they win. We are under them some severe pressure. Can Rovis at least keep the pressure on them? Yes, he can. And the Savage now needs to make a save. That Purser penalty almost sums up this game perfectly, doesn't it? I mean, how it's hit the thing and bounced it almost straight down. It's just, as I've said before, it doesn't feel like it's our season, as Dinamo beat us comprehensively. Let's be fair, on penalties 4-2. we were never really in the shootout beyond the first one. But yeah, that is very, very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. And to make matters worse, Hajduk have been knocked out by our third-tier affiliate team, but also Rijeka have been knocked out as well. So unless Dinamo go and win it, that European spot is going elsewhere. It couldn't be more of a disaster, could it? So there we go. It's just not falling for us, is it? Persa penalty promise. Pembele got a good goal. Generally speaking, he played well, didn't he? And a scouting report there as well for someone we were looking at that needs to say we won't be signing. But yeah, well, that's that. Out of the cup, Europe's looking a little bit tenuous, and the title race is pretty much where the season stands. And we've got 2 away games up next against 34th even in the table, the Serbians, and then it is Olu. Anyway, they're 29th, both away from home. We need to win. We need to get 6 points, 4 points minimum out of those 2 games, and that's what we'll be coming back for. Until then, guys, I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.